everybody, I hope you're well and had a good week. So today I'm going to talk about jealousy, and I've been prompted to do so off the back of a conversation that I was having with a friend today on a run. And it was more from a relationship perspective actually, and she was just saying how she'd read a book in which she'd discovered that actually we are primordially, trouble with that word, primordially hardwired to be jealous, in terms of in relationships and wanting to sort of keep partners and that sort of thing. But we were then sort of saying how, from an athletics perspective, it also is quite an important consideration. In races, for example, if one of your competitors is having a particularly good race, and how that can then put you into a bit of a negative mindset if that's the sort of mindset that you choose to approach things with, i.e. one of jealousy and perhaps not wanting other people to do well because you want to do well. So, as I say, that is something that we are pre-programmed to naturally do. So, it's to be expected. But at the same time, as ever, there's always the two sort of choices that you can make when you approach your running and life, I guess. You can go down the sort of the lesser self route of things like jealousy, or you can choose a more virtuous approach, let's say. Just thinking about during my athletics career, there were certainly times when I'd be doing okay in a race, and then all of a sudden, a competitor would come up on my shoulder, someone who I didn't think should be beating me, but they just stood a bit of a march on you, and then all of a sudden it's like you go from feeling fairly good to it's like a monkey's just jumped on your back, and your system just gets flooded with lactic. And I always it really, really grated with me that could happen, because I just knew that was 100% psychological, that there was something that switched in my head that suddenly allowed my system to be flooded with lactic, and it was like I just physically couldn't respond, yet it was a psychological stimulus that had caused that. So I was just like, I've really got to get to the bottom of this, because this is something that I can definitely control. And then also, in longer races, like in cross-country races, there'd be quite a few occasions where I was having a bad day at the office, and people who shouldn't beat me were ahead of me, and then, it just sort of not spiraled out of control, but, it was a bad day at the office, as I say. And again, it's just purely psychological. So, and that's because I'd chosen the jealousy route as opposed to the more virtuous route, which I'm going to talk about now. Since actually finishing competing on the track, which is a bit annoying actually, because if I'd known this back then, it might have helped. But I discovered that the word to compete comes from Latin, and I think it's like the verb compere, but the literal meaning of that is to seek with. And I was like, that's an interesting way of looking at it, because if you think about it, at the end of the day, you are just sort of two people who are seeking to get the best out of yourselves, and you're kind of using each other in a way as a means to draw the best out of yourself, or to seek for your optimal performance. I thought that was really nice, and as I say, I've discovered it since competing professionally on the track, but I have employed that mindset in like a few park runs and things that I've done, and I definitely think that it's helped me to have a more relaxed approach in a race, which has resulted in a better result. I mean, it's very easy for me to say that because obviously, I've done it, it's not been a double-blind trial, that kind of thing, where I can actually prove which the best mindset is. But I just have an inkling that it is better to have that approach, just so that you're less stressed and tense in a race. Just sort of looking back, in terms of the whole seeking with and just sort of feeling a sense of camaraderie. Like some of my fondest memories of when I was an athlete were after a race, when you'd be cooling down and then you'd be running with some of your competitors, and whereas like in a race you're not going to be very friendly and chatty, like afterwards it really can be, you know, because you share not only that race but like so much in common in terms of the hard work and the training that you've put in, the sacrifices you had to make, and so you can really relate to those people. And as I say, I do really sort of treasure those moments where like somebody you perhaps feared in a race like has then become a friend and someone you can relax and have a laugh with. So yeah, and you know, you don't have to be a professional athlete for that to be the case. That's open to anyone and everyone. So yeah, I'll leave that there for tonight. I'm just going to finish on with a quote, which is one out of do you remember the Baz Luhrmann's, well, say song, but he just talks in it, wear sunscreen, and really pertinent quote in that I like is, the race is long, sometimes you're ahead and sometimes you're behind, but in the end it's only with yourself. And so to me that would say, if you choose the more virtuous route, i.e. of being like, you know, the seeking with kind of approach, then you're far more likely to how would I put this? The race with yourself, you're going to win. There we go. Because you've been a good person. Right, okay. It's a bit late. That's why I'm stumbling a bit tonight. But I hope you found it useful anyway. And have a good week. Okay, take care. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.